I just sent the request.
Okay,
Great.
Bogart, you want to start the meeting?
So it's 7:04, motion to start meeting. Can I have a motion?
Yep.
Can I have a second?
I second it.
Okay. So, Gary, go ahead and get started.
Yasi, you want to start it?
Yes, I do. Just let me know first and foremost if you can see my full screen now.
Yes.
I can.
Perfect. Okay, and nothing's blocking it. Okay, perfect. All right. Hi everybody. Thanks for being here. We have a nice meeting planned for you today, including a few presentations at the end. So please stick around. But in the meantime, we'll go through some of the regular stuff. So first, hopefully everybody has had a chance, if they wanted to look at the previous meetings minutes. If you are not aware, they are posted on the CVHS PTO website, and you can click on, usually there's a recording and a transcript. So please always feel free to go, and if you missed a meeting, you can always watch it later or read the minutes. But let's approve the last meeting minutes. If anybody has any questions or concerns, please let me know.
Any questions, concerns that need to be brought up with the meeting minutes? If not, let's make a motion to pass the meeting minutes as is.
I second.
Any oppositions, any questions, concerns before we approve?
All right.
So meeting minutes approved.
Thanks, Bogart. By the way, if anybody ever does have questions, they're looking at the minutes or have any questions, please feel free to email any of us with your concerns, and we'll definitely look into it.
The link for the meeting minutes is in the chat, if anyone wants to take a look.
Thank
Sorry,
you.
how did we
Maria.
vote? I didn't see the vote come up.
Oh, I think we just did it verbally.
We asked if there was any oppositions. Anybody opposed to the meeting minutes, please speak up. If not, we are approving it unanimously. Anybody going once? Going twice? Sold.
All right, so let's hear from our lovely president, Gary, about the goings-on of the last few weeks.
Yep. Well, the last couple of months, actually. The last
Last
time
couple
we
of
met-
months, really.
Yeah, we met at the end of August, and so we're about a month in, a little bit more than that. So there's a good bit of stuff that has happened in between, and I know several of you have been involved in multiple events that have been going on with the PTO. So bear with me as I kind of do a quick recount of what we've been doing for the last 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks or so. So right now what's going on is we've been sending out emails and flyers to get some food donations as well as monetary donations for holiday baskets. And so Ms. Williams, Ms. Griffin, Ms. Hernandez and I, and a couple of PTO parents have been working together to build these baskets. We've gotten a good amount of donations, but we still need more. So this year, if you guys remember from the beginning of the year, I had said that the PTO was going to extend our basket making and extend it to 3 different holiday periods instead of just one. So anything we collect, so any preservable items that we collect, we will use from Thanksgiving to the Christmas holiday, end of year holiday, to the spring break holiday as well. So this year, anytime that the kids have a break that's longer than a couple days, we will be sending home some baskets with them. Now, if you guys remember, these are for the families that have been identified as in need. And this year, Ms. Williams tells us that there's anywhere between 15 and 20 families that have been identified. So Soumya, if you don't mind, and if you can find a link to
Yeah,
the
it's in the chat,
flyer,
Gauri.
yeah, and place that. Thank you so much. So if you have not yet donated, please do donate. I know Ms. Williams is actively building those baskets for the Thanksgiving break right now. 4 of us were at HEB yesterday evening buying up their specialty ham and turkey that they have a special deal on. And it was just madness, but it felt really good after 4 hours coming back home to know that we had done something that's going to be helpful to our families. If you have any questions, certainly put them in chat around these baskets. If you want to come out and help us put them together, donate your time, that's welcome as well. Just put that in chat. I will move on to the breakfast with the principal. So I've had several requests between the last time I started talking about this, which was about a couple of weeks ago, and now I have had several requests to possibly push the date out into either January or February. And people are saying this because if you guys remember, this is one of our fundraising level kind of, I think it's tier 3 fundraising levels, where if you donate a certain amount, this is one of the kind of nice benefit events that you get to attend. And so the original event was planned for December 10th, but I've had several requests from people asking to extend that because they did want a little bit more time to donate so that they could meet that level. And then be able to attend that in January or February. So look for more updates that should be coming out towards the end of this week as we finalize those dates. In addition to that, I want to give a really big shout out to everyone that helped put the faculty parent social together. That happened last week. If you missed it, we have some really fun pictures that I know Soumya had shared on our Facebook as well as Insta page. So if you have not connected with us on Facebook or Insta, definitely connect. You get to see kind of what everyone's doing, how people are meeting and engaging with each other. It was a really fun social. We had a really big fundraising goal during the social, but unfortunately, I think because of the noise or whatever else, we actually didn't get to raise a whole bunch of funds. We came up a little short, but that's fine because it was really nice to meet all of you that came out. Some folks that I met for the first time, and I'm very grateful that you showed, but a lot of faculty that was there, and we were super grateful for their time after school as well. So Mr. Moss, for the faculty that's not here today, please do convey our kind of appreciation for them showing up that day. In addition to that, I want to, oh, hold on, there's a bunch of people waiting in the waiting room. Okay. In addition to that, I do want to also talk about the school spirit store. So we do have a new spirit store. We heard last year, just through personal surveys and conversations, I had heard that people were thinking that there was maybe the T Public store that we had out there, while it was extremely convenient for us as well as for people to order online, it was also a little bit more expensive, and it was also not as easy because, you know, if you left the school, you weren't thinking about buying your school spirit wear. And so we've decided to change things up a little bit. And let me see if I have the ladies that are running the school store this year. Van, are you here? Can you come off mute and maybe on camera? I don't want to call you out. Lori, are you here? If you can raise your hand as well. Okay, we will.
Sorry, I don't know how to raise my hand, but I'm here.
Oh, okay. Okay. Hey, Lori. So I was actually going to share the link and show folks kind of how they can go out there and purchase stuff. So Yasi, can I take the share from you for just a quick second?
Of course. Should I stop sharing? Yes.
Yeah, I'll go
Yep.
ahead and
There it is.
can you guys see the spirit store?
Not yet.
No.
Hold on 1 second. I'll try it one more time. If not, I will just send out the link. Okay, can you see it now?
Yep.
Yes.
You see the spirit store?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for that. So this is out there. It's on Membership Toolkit as well. And we're super excited to have some new colors as well as some old designs that are making a comeback. But the neatest thing about this is that the materials are just amazing. So Lori and Than, who are also part of our parent community, have been working with a local vendor, so we get to we get to purchase locally, and we get to contribute to the local community vendors, and purchase these t-shirts. Now, as you can see, the prices are considerably lower than what they might be online. And the one thing I did want to point out is if you click on the image here, it takes you to what the shirts actually will look like. And so you can see the 3 different colors that they've started off with and are planning on expanding this line, but this is kind of what's out there. So I'm going to put this out in chat for you guys to see. But definitely take a minute to go out there as you're thinking of Christmas shopping and gifts for your kids. These might be really fun things that they can wear to school as well. And Yasi, with that, I will ask you to share your screen again, please.
All right. Can you guys see?
Yes, thank you.
Sure.
Okay. Something else I wanted to go over. So last time we chatted, I had said that the PTO had a little bit of a difference in when we raise funds and how we spend the money. So we raise a lot of funds at the beginning of the year, but we spend the money towards the end of the year. So I'm happy to come back here and report that we have taken some of that money and created CDs, very safe investments, so that we're able to make some interest income off of that. We've been talking about this for a couple of years. The idea originally came to me from Maria, and possibly even before, was floated around even before that. But I'm happy to say that we actually went ahead and got these CDs created, and they should be yielding anywhere between $2,000 and $3,000, and a little bit more than that possibly by the time their 7-month period term is up. In addition to that, there was also a conversation about the budget in the last meeting. So I do want to point out that the budget has been loaded to the website, and I will put in chat the link to where you can see the budget. What we do also update on a regular basis is actuals spent. So there is a budget to actuals conversation that's always happening within the board, and we load those once a month prior to every meeting. So you should be able to see that as well online. In addition to that, I want to report that stipends this year that we put out for the teachers, about 29% of the stipends have been used, which is really good. I want to improve that number to being 50, 60, 70% by this time of the year. So hopefully teachers can make use of this. Some of the things that have been purchased are things like fees that teachers might pay for example, for a math Olympiad. That comes out of the teacher stipend. Sometimes the teachers ask for additional assistance with buying some books some specialty books that they need for their classes, or any kind of technical assistance that they might need for their classrooms. All of that can be purchased from their stipends. And then with that, I will go over into calendar overview. Yasi, we can go to the next page. So this is kind of what's happening for the rest of the month. We celebrated earlier in the month Veterans Day, and we also started the Thanksgiving basket. We did shopping yesterday, and we are building baskets today. So Ms. Williams, I know, is going to be coming on later this evening, and she will talk a little bit more about that. We also had a faculty lunch earlier today, and just as a regular course of action, something that we do for the teachers to let them know that we appreciate them. And the baskets will be distributed tomorrow. So that's November 20th. In addition to that, so all of next week, we are on Thanksgiving break, and that brings us very quickly into December, into the end of the year. And if you can see December 10th, Tuesday, December 10th, we have breakfast with the principal noted out there, but please be aware, while this is on the website, that date might move. As soon as we get a lock on the date, I will send out the new dates and the information around that. There's another faculty lunch coming up on Wednesday, the 18th, kind of like a holiday lunch, and there's something special planned for the teachers at that point. I don't want to give away too much, so I won't talk about that, but we will be sharing pictures right after. There is also a Christmas basket that is set to be distributed on the 20th. So if you missed donating to the holiday basket, to the donation drive that was going on online, if you missed that date and you haven't sent in what you think you could, please go ahead and send in the items. We can still continue to use them for the end of year holiday break. Okay, I think that's all I had. And with that, I'll pass it on to Mr. Moss.
Good evening, everybody. I also want to thank everyone for today's luncheon. I can attest it was delicious. So thank you for everybody who contributed. And I also want to thank everybody for your support of our school and our program. Some of you know that Ms. Mumni and I presented at the board last Thursday night. Unfortunately, we weren't able to attend the PTO event because we were at the board meeting. We were trying to ensure that new students to our program starting next year are truly ready academically. We have found over the last several years that students who are applying for 9th grade, they only have to submit a 7th grade report card, because at the time of application, that's the final or the last, most recent final report card, because they're currently in 8th grade. They go through the lottery, and if they are accepted and offered a seat, we don't find out their 8th grade report card until afterwards, usually in June, and many of them might be failing multiple courses or possibly even retained. So we wanted to be more aligned with some of the other magnet programs. Carnegie had a GT matrix, but we wanted to incorporate or add a component of the magnet matrix, which is a score of 80 over the 4 core subjects, etc. So as nerve-wracking as it is to speak in front of the board and the public in general. I think Ms. Mooney did a great job. 6 board members who were there actually unanimously approved our proposal. So I do want to thank everybody who reached out to me, several people actually on this call, supporting us. So thank you so much for that. I also wanted to mention that we have something new called Winterfest. And this is an activity that will take place when we come back from Thanksgiving. It's the first week of December, December 2nd through the 6th. It's during lunchtime. And some of our musicians propose Winterfest as just kind of a way to celebrate the season. And then we'll have different types of venues or genres of music every day, again, Monday through Friday. That's December 2nd through 6th. And so far it hasn't been canceled. Wink, wink. We actually do look forward to that. As you know, this Friday begins our break, and we're so very happy to have the entire week of Thanksgiving off. And thanks for everyone who have or are contributing to the Thanksgiving baskets, etc. Also, when we return, we're going to take advantage of our Wednesday 90-minute advocacy to administer a survey to students. This is the Challenge Success Survey. Many of you have probably received notification. This is the survey that the PTO has generously supported so that we can hear directly from students. And I believe parents will also receive a survey in regards to some initiatives and anything that we can do to continue to improve the school and our program. So that will take place during advocacy on Wednesday, December 4th for all of our student body. Friday, December the 13th is the unofficial end of cycle 3. I say unofficial because technically the last day of the semester is December 20th. But typically Friday, December the 13th is somewhat the last day where actually it is the last day of regular instruction, because Monday, December the 16th typically is a review for fall finals, which begin on Tuesday, December the 17th. We have 2 finals every day, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And the very last final is on the morning of Friday, December the 20th. After that last morning final on the 20th, we usually have a long advocacy period. Then we go into lunch, and then we have a second advocacy. What parents and students will receive, I'm not sure if it'll go out this week or when we come back from Thanksgiving, but we have a sign-up genius. Many times, students want to leave after their last final, and parents want to pick up their students to begin the holidays. We do have full regular school days until 4 o'clock during finals of the 17th through the 20th. But because our last final ends at roughly about 10:40, a sign-up genius will allow parents to schedule a time to pick up their students so that it's not a long line of parents waiting to actually come into the building. And parents, yes, you do have to come into the building with your IDs. We have to check to make sure that we are releasing students to the appropriate persons. So the sign-up genius will hopefully assist with an expeditious process with that. And basically that is it. If anyone has any questions regarding anything that I just mentioned or just in general, I am here for the duration of the meeting.
Mr. Moss, there's a question in the chat asking if the student survey is anonymous.
That is a great question. I will ask Ms. Mooney. I know that I briefed a script that she wrote to send to students and parents, and I will try to research that while we're on this call. And if I can't find it tonight, then I will definitely communicate that to or via the PTO.
Yep, thank
Can I
you.
ask a question or do I need to put it in chat? I'm sorry. Well, I guess, principal, if we take them out Friday afternoon, will it be counted as an absence for them or is it excused?
It is an early pickup, and technically, students who go to, I believe it's finals for period 4, as long as they, the teacher of record for the 4th period has taken attendance, we will, after that, we'll go directly into advocacy, where another attendance is taken roughly about between 10:45 and 11 a.m. And those would be the only instances for attendance. So any parent who registers on the Sign Up Genius to take their student out, it won't be counted as an absence for the rest of the day, because again, by having the final for period 4 and then advocacy, those are the only 2 attendance taking times that we'll have on that day.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I see in the chat, December 16th. So December 16th, that Monday, is typically a review in all academic classrooms prior to finals that begin on Tuesday, the 17th. You are welcome.
Thank you, Principal Moss. If everybody's done asking, we will move on to our officer reports. We are not going to be
I have
hearing
a quick
from.
question.
Sure.
Do we know what the order is for the finals?
I'm sorry, your question is, do we know what about the finals?
The order, like Tuesday is math and science.
Oh,
Wednesday
yeah,
is-
yes. So the finals are scheduled by class period. And on the first day, which is Tuesday, December 17th, in the morning, right at 8:30, we'll start with finals for period 1. Then we will have an advocacy and lunch. And then early afternoon, I don't know the time just yet, but then we will have the final for period 5. And then on Wednesday morning, we have period 2. Wednesday afternoon, we have period 6. Thursday morning is finals for period 3. And then afternoon for period 7. And then Friday, December 20th is the final for period 4. And then advocacy.
Okay, thank you. That helps.
You're welcome.
Okay. Thank you for your questions and thank you, Mr. Moss, for all of that. Let us move on to the treasurer's report. Our treasurer, Mala Gupta, is actually traveling to India for a wedding, so we shall have our president present.
Yep.
Present.
So, as I mentioned in my discussion as well, that we do collect a good bit of the money earlier in the year, but we spend it throughout the year. So as you can see, we've collected about 48,000 to date of our full 100,000 budget. And our expenses to date have been about 13,000. Now, if you look kind of a little bit to the bottom, you'll see what we budgeted for, the different buckets, and what we actually spent. So we've spent in the faculty column, we've spent a little bit on administration fees, and we've also spent on our students. But we do have a good bit of money still left to spend. So we have a good bit of stipends that still need to be paid out. We also have money reserved for clubs that also needs to be paid out. And I can go through really quickly some of the details. So Yasi, I will take the share from you again. Okay, can you see the Excel spreadsheet?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger so everyone can see. So here's our actual, this column right here is what we've spent, here's what we budgeted for, and then the rest of the columns here really help us kind of keep track of how we're doing and where we need to focus on. But some of the things that have happened this year, we paid out some credit card fees. We paid out a little bit of money at the beginning of the year to reserve fish camp. But then we also got some of that money back. As you guys know, fish camp was canceled. The seniors have raised a little bit of money through their food sales that they've been working on. So there's a number here, but all of this is senior fundraising. So even though we get the money because we get it in Square, it's a technology that we run, but we will be transferring it out to the seniors so they can use it for some of their senior activities. In addition to that, I'm going to scroll down. So this $800 was raised during the bowling event. This was like the $10 fee that everybody paid, and that raised about $600. But we did end up spending more than that towards that event, and so when the event shows up, it actually ends up being a wash. We have some swag sales, so some of the donations that we collect through when people buy t-shirts and things like that. That's about $1,200 from the start of the year. We've raised a little bit of money through Kroger and Albertsons and Randall's donations. So if you guys didn't know, every time you shop at a Kroger or Randall's or an Albertsons, if you have Carnegie Vanguard listed as a donor or a community donor to your account, we get a small percentage of whatever it is you purchase there. So we're expecting approximately about $500 in store card donations is what we call them. So if you don't know how to do this, as soon as I've stopped sharing, I will put some information in chat. It doesn't cost you anything. Definitely link your card or your account and put down Carnegie Vanguard PTO as your community partner, and we get a little bit of money and donation from that. In addition to that, I mentioned interest income at the start of this conversation. This year, we're going to blow this budget out of the water. We're only budgeting for, at the start of the year, for $40. But it looks like we're actually going to get upwards of $3,000 in interest, given that we were able to activate the CD this year. We also have some prior period expenses that have been recognized, some insurance, some fees for our online platforms, etc. Coming up. There's some precedence discretionary funds. These are things that we do for volunteers or anytime we have a PTO meeting. We also have some special events. So if you remember, I said the bowling event, we collected about $800, but we ended up spending $2,600 for the full event. So really the $800 was more so we could count on people showing up and coming to the event. In addition to that, there's some money spent towards teachers' lunches. And we also sponsor Employee of the Month. For the faculty, we also sponsor some money towards the food drive for the holidays. In addition to everything that the parents donate, there's always maybe a little bit something that is needed that needs to be purchased fresh. For example, we can't ask for donations for ham or for turkey. That's something that we need to purchase. And so the PTO always budgets a little bit of money so that we can buy some of those fresh items that can go in the basket. And then scrolling down, we do have some money saved for school-wide club support as well. So if your kids are involved in a club and they need some money to buy equipment or to do activities or pay fees, dues, etc., there is a per club limit, but there is some money saved for that as well. And then, as I mentioned, kind of at the start, also there's about 29% of the budget we've paid out in stipends this year. And that's it. That's kind of how we fall. Going back to our total here to remind everybody, 13% of our budget spent, and 49% of the funds that we need raised, but we still have a good bit of the way to go. So if you have not yet donated, please do. A lot of our expenses come up between now and the March timeframe, I feel like is the heaviest, where everyone's kind of looking to make use of the donations for all of the activities that happen to support our students, our faculty, our school, and as well as our parents. So thank you for that. Yasi, back to you. Any questions on the budget?
Gauri, thank you for that presentation. That was very clear and concise. There are some questions in the chat, just separate questions. Do we want to wait and answer all questions at the end of the presentations, or would you like to address them now? There are just a few questions that parents have about a couple of different things. Should we wait until the end and answer all questions together?
Yeah, let me take the ones that are budget related. I'm just
Yeah,
seeing
no
quick-
budget related questions, but Maria, thank you. Maria posted all the information about Kroger, Office Depot, and Randall's that Gauri was talking about, where you can sign up and then, you know,
Yeah.
Carnegie gets a percentage. Thanks, Maria, for that.
Yeah, see, I'm trying to answer the questions in the chat.
Oh,
we
thank you,
as
Bogar.
well.
Okay, thank you very
Okay.
much.
And we can
All right.
take the other questions that are non-related, we can take them at the end of the agenda.
Okay. Oh, I don't know how to go back in this. Sorry. Sorry, guys. All right, let's go to Mary with the appreciation and college readiness updates. That's a tongue twister.
Yep. So Mary is not able to be here
Yes.
today. I feel like most of the PTO board is starting their vacation a little bit early. I know I am ready.
I know.
But so we did have a teacher's lunch. I think I said that earlier. And some pictures will be shared around that. And we
Yes.
have one more teacher's lunch coming up in December as well. So we will be closing the year. And I think for the December one, I'm not 100% sure, but I do think that Mary might be reaching out for folks that might want to bake at home or make something special for the teachers at home. So there might be an opportunity for those of us that are good cooks and want to kind of share your happy cooking moments, personal touches with the faculty. This will be your time, so get ready for and look for that invite to come out. In addition to that, college readiness. So for those of you that attended the college readiness series at the beginning of the year, we tried to get all of the calls in this year before the September deadline. And I do want to call out several folks. You see several of these people that helped out with the college readiness series. I won't name them all because I feel like I might miss out some, but I want to call out Ms. Galloway, especially. She has been godsend. She started Carnegie about a couple of years ago, I think. And the years she started, she had the misfortune of running into me at a Carnegie fair, an HSPVA college fair. And she and I hatched this plan together to do these college readiness series conversations, talks with our parents. And you can see how many other parents have jumped in and contributed to the calls this year. If you did not get a chance to listen to these calls, they are online. And you can hear them on our YouTube channel. So if Soumya, if you have the link to that, please place that in the YouTube channel. What we are doing now, what the College Readiness Group is doing now is we are collecting links and information around scholarships and internships. So if you as a parent have information that you would like to share with the larger parent body around how kids can get maybe some specialty scholarships, or if you have links on scholarships that kids can apply to, please let this group know. You can message me, you can message volunteers at cbhspto.org, and that goes to Mary Matthias, who runs the College Readiness Group. So that's kind of the quick update on the college readiness team.
Gary,
Yasi,
where are those, where's the information for the internships and scholarships? Is that also going to be on the CVHS PTO website?
it is also on the CVHS PTO website. And once it's out there, it's going to go out. The link will go out to all parents in email, in Facebook, Insta, and we also have YouTube channels that do some advertising for us. So definitely find a way to connect with us on some of these channels, and that way you will be kind of kept updated as we progress on some of these different activities.
Thank you, Gary. I think Mary
backwards.
also, yeah, exactly. Mary wanted to highlight
Go ahead, Yasi.
Principals Month. I'll let you say it because I was not a part of this amazing organization.
So we had a really fun celebration. I was only in charge of the balloons, and the balloons looked this nice, maybe for about 5 minutes. And then the wind came through that day and destroyed everything, but we taped everything together and we kept it out. But I have to say, Mr. Moss, we had so many clubs and so many kids raise their hands and wanted to get involved in this celebration for you this during Principals Month. And so we were really happy to get them included. As you can see, Mr. Moss, always a trooper, really jumping in and, into the spirit of the celebration. And so thank you from all of us as parents, and thank you from the kids as well for everything you do every day.
It was so touching, and yeah, every time I turned around, it was more students representing different clubs, and Miss Williams did a spectacular job with logistics and helping to organize. I felt the love. Thank you all.
Okay, back over to you, Yancy.
Yes, well, we also, Mary's team, lovely team, also made sure to, I think at least on social media, appreciate a couple of veterans that we have at our school. And there was also a teacher's lunch today. This just in, hot off the presses. And some pictures of it. Well, this was just a parent social. You already talked about the fall social that we had. Here are a few pictures. They're on social media in case you guys want to go look at them one by one, but I quickly just pasted them into a couple of collages. The space was pretty great. It was noisy, that's true, but it was a great space. Okay, now we will hear from our lovely past president, Miss Maria Calzada. Mrs.
Hello. Do you hear me? Okay. So just quickly, I've got a few just small updates. I am the parent rep for FACE, that's Family and Community Engagement. So that is a representative for the district. So basically, we have on our website, if you go under parent resources, and I really encourage people to go there. And of course, it's usually the parents that are on these calls that already know about this, but it bears reminding because we always throw a lot of stuff at you. If you're on the WhatsApp channels, often there are some frequently asked questions. These are frequently answered questions right here. So if you actually, if you hit parent resources, actually, yes, if you don't mind just clicking right there, exactly. No, actually click parent resources. This is probably some of the most commonly asked questions. And one of the things that comes up a lot during cold and flu is, what do I do if my kid is sick, if my kid is out, if my kid had a doctor's appointment, or if I have to pull my kid out early? I think that gets asked once a week at least. So that information is right here. So I just wanted to point that out because it's here and it's hard to find sometimes to navigate on the school website, because that also has a ton of information. So I just wanted to point it out. So if, just look under parent resources. Samia has it right there, locked and loaded. And the form that Ms. Alvarenga likes, because it's easy and she made it, so it's perfect, is there. So there's a little PDF. I just want to point that out. Likewise, that's part of what we do for FACE, is we try to make things easy for parents. We're working towards getting our top status with FACE, which is level 3. And we've done a few things. One is a walkthrough, and that was on September 26th. That went really well. So if you're one of the parents that joined us, which was kind of a last minute planning for that, thank you very much. That is on our YouTube channel if you want to watch us get a guided tour by Principal Moss, which is always fun. Please check that out. And one of the other things that we're trying to do is make everything more accessible to all parents, regardless of background, regardless of language. Spanish is one of the more common things that most schools do in Houston. My goal is to find out what other language or languages would benefit Carnegie parents. We've done some surveys whenever we did the walkthrough. My question to all the parents is, what other languages would it be beneficial for us as a PTO to communicate? At least my first step would be for us to communicate meetings and parent socials, some of our bigger events. So whenever we try to send out surveys or questionnaires in the past, we have not gotten a lot of feedback. So it's a little bit of a it's a loop. We want to know how to get more feedback, and we can't get more feedback about getting more feedback. So if anyone has some bright ideas or has any background in how to do better surveys, I am open to any ideas. The second part of what I'm doing this year is, not sure which part of the, okay, campus beautification. So I don't know if you were able to get the PowerPoint up, but that's okay, no big deal. So Campus Beautification Committee, we've met a few times, met with Principal Moss several times. We have a budget that's kind of bifurcated. We have some money that has been set aside for, now this is the 3rd year, little under $20,000 has been set aside for the green roof. The green roof is on the 2nd floor. It is the area that is, if you've ever been on the 2nd floor, there's a lot of greenery out there, but there is a seated area that gets really, really hot and really, really sunny. And we had a fundraiser that was specifically to try to get some coverage there. So that is one project that we want to work on this year. The other part of our budget is part of our annual budget, and we have $3,000, and we thought that we would need to spend it on getting the marquee fixed and some electrical work done. If you're on the committee, I will tell you the full long story. The short story is the electrical work was actually prepaid. We just found out. We thought that the money that we just presented this at the board meeting a few days ago. We thought it was just an estimate, and when the estimate got submitted, it actually got paid. So Principal Moss has spoken to the electrical electrician, I guess, and fingers crossed this work will get done and the sign will light up and we will have one more way to communicate with parents. So that is the update there. If that is the case and we don't have to use that budget, then hopefully as a committee we will be able to use that money for more fun stuff than electrical work. The next committee meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, January 14th. We've been doing, I think it's the third Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Those people that signed up for the committee, you can sign up on the website, or you can just contact me. I've got like 4 emails at this point. We'll put it in the chat. Anyone who's interested in working on this committee, the more the merrier. And then the last thing is SDMC. That is also on the FACE website, the information, and shared decision-making committee. That is another representation of parents. It's just one more way that we find out what's going on at the school. The minutes and the agenda are on the website. So if anyone has any questions, please feel free to contact me or Megna, who I think might be here, and she is the other representative. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maria. That's wonderful and exciting. Thank you for the FAQ thing. I didn't even know that existed. All right, so I think if everyone's okay, we will move on to our special agenda for the night, which is a 3-parter. We will first have Nurse Dana talk about Hazel Health. For those who don't know, you're about to find out, and it's a pretty exciting thing. I've signed up for it myself. Nurse Dana, are you there?
I am.
Hi.
I don't know how exciting it is, but yeah.
I feel like it's exciting because, I don't know, it takes some stress away from us as parents, but.
Good, because that's the goal. Thank you very much. I just want to say first, thank you for the PTO for a very fun happy hour last week, and the lunch today was fabulous. Thank you very much. That was wonderful. Hazel Health, briefly, you can advance the slide if you want, but it's mental and physical health. If you haven't heard about it, I know I've talked about it ad nauseum. It is a quick and easy free way to have your kids stay in school if they have a minor illness like menstrual cramps, headaches. You decide what medication they're allowed to have. You put their medical information in and you give consent. If you do not want to do it, please opt out, because we still get credit. We want everybody to look at it. At least you can advance the slide if you want. Oh yeah, and you can also do it at home too. So, and one more slide. So if you sign up, we're at 35% right now where people have actually looked at it, signed up. The darker green is the opt out, and we're okay with that. We are not forcing you to opt in or opt out. Opt in. It's up to you, but I do want you to look at it and do one of the 2 things. Our goal for the year is 50%, and we're getting there. I mean, we start out at 0, so we're doing well. We just need to get at least 50%. So if you would just do me that huge favor and and just, yeah, scan the thing. It takes 2 minutes. It's a free service, and HISD's, you know, foot in the bill. You will never pay a copay. It's for minor things. Also of note, I just want to let everybody know, this is kind of like a props to Carnegie, but we have 22 students that have been CPR certified first aid, AED, and CPR certified. So it's pretty exciting. And then like at least a lot of our adults have also been certified. So that's kind of fun. But that is it. If anybody has any Hazel questions, though, I'd love to answer them. So yes. Or any other questions, actually.
Nurse Dana, just to clarify, and I know I talked to you before, and I think parents would be interested in knowing about medications, especially the over-the-counter medications. In the past, as a parent, you were supposed to take the medication and have the student's name and all that. But with this Hazel Health, but that is no longer necessary. Is that correct?
That is correct. We have a stock medication cabinet, and it has Tylenol, Advil, Sertrazine, which is allergy medicine, a honey cough syrup, some throat lozenges, Pepto-Bismol, and then some another antacid. So that's the things that you're signing up for. It's basic things to just get them through the day. If they're not, a major problem, it gets them through the day, and they can, and we know absences are a big deal. You saw that, yeah, if they're excused from clinic, they don't, it's not, it's excused when you write your note. So we're trying to keep them in class. That's the big thing. So.
And I just, I heard from some people the concerns, and I read through it too. If you've got a concern about privacy, because the verbiage does state that they are allowed, and it makes sense to communicate to non-clinical staff. If you're concerned, like Bogart put in the chat, then that's fine. Make a decision, sign it or don't sign it. But you do need to, for the school, please make a decision and consent or don't consent. But and I do know that, and I don't know if you want to address that one way or the other.
When you say no, well, yeah, the non-clinical, I don't know who that would be, because we talk to the providers. They give the note to the parents immediately, unless they're 18, and then they send it to the child and the parents. But yeah, the data is not being collected and aggregated. It may be for how many students are staying in school after they've seen Hazel Health. That's the thing that they're collecting, not what it's not personalized data. It's definitely just anonymous. Is this helping keeping kids in class? That's kind of what there is, that's the goal of HISD, to keep them in class.
So quick question on Hazel Health. If child is enrolled in this program, and if they had maybe a headache, for example, if they go to see the nurse, and then they can stay with just little medication maybe in school. Otherwise, if they're not signed up for Hazel Health, then they may go home and they may not get medication. Is that what?
That's exactly it. If they have not consented for Hazel Health, then I will call the parent and say, okay, the student doesn't think they can continue. You need to come pick them up, please. I gently ask you to pick them up, because otherwise they're just miserable. So that's the thing, is to try to make the students more comfortable, to make it through the day if they can, if it's possible. If they're sick, they're sick. Sometimes we can't. If they have a fever, if they're vomiting, if they have diarrhea, they're going home, right? But if I can ease their symptoms too before you get there, that's nice as well. So that's kind of what we're looking at. Just easing them, making comfortable, and it's free.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Oh, somebody just asked a question. No, you can use it at home as well. The hours, I forgot what the hours, I think it's until 7 p.m. and then it's in the mornings. I think it's 7 to 7. You can use it at home as well with like you would a telehealth visit from your doctor. So that's kind of nice.
Nurse Dana, can you also address the fact that it is free of charge, and when you do sign up, they do ask you for insurance information, but if you don't have it, you do not have to fill it out?
Correct. So if you put your insurance information in, if you have insurance, that's totally fine. They'll bill your insurance, but you will never pay a copay. HISD takes care of that. So that's kind of the partnership that they've formed with Hazel. So you will not pay for that part of it. So that's the good part of it. One of the good things. Yes, very good questions.
And then also the fact that even during school, if the student requires a telemedicine consultation, the parent will be also included in that call. Is that correct?
Well, they're not included in the call, but they get an immediate email case summary of the entire visit. They email it, and if the provider has questions during the visit, they call the parent right then and there and say, "Okay, this is what we think." We've had some more serious things happen where a student had hives, and we didn't know what they were from, and we called the parent right then and there and asked them during the call, like, "Hey, what do you think? Can you pick them up? What do we need to do?" So it just facilitates, different care and yeah, they're very communicative.
Is this
Thank you.
all HISD schools?
It is in all HISD schools, and it's as good for as long as they're in HISD schools. You only have to consent once.
Okay.
Somebody just asked a question about
Yeah.
medication. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Oh, okay. So the thing about medication, when you sign your consent, if you opt in, you put all the medications that you're okay with, Tylenol, or acetaminophen, ibuprofen, if they can have all those medications, you select them. I have one parent that only picked Tylenol. That's fine. That's what they picked. So they're okay with if their student has a headache, they see the telemedicine and they can have Tylenol. That you guys decide, your parents decide what medications their children can have. We do not call though beforehand and go, "Oh, are you okay with this?" Because we're trying to get them back in school. We're trying to limit your distractions too for these minor illnesses. If it's major, we're calling you right away. Don't always. So
Nurse Dana, parents would also like to know if they would be informed when their insurance will be, I guess, charged or utilized.
I guess I don't know that for sure. I know that as soon as they see Hazel Health, that report goes immediately to the parent, full report of everything that they've talked about, the child and the provider, what was given, and what the recommendations are. I'm assuming that when that happens, that's when they would send it to their insurance. So I don't know.
Yeah, and I assume that only if telemedicine is utilized, not for like them going to see you and asking for Tylenol.
Exactly. Right.
Guys, in the interest of time, Nurse Dana, thank you so much for that presentation. But if there are any other questions, because we have 2 other speakers, if you guys would just email Nurse Dana, is that okay? Your
Yeah.
information was, I'll just go back to your,
It's
here's,
not on there, but there's my
on your
direct
email.
line. Yeah. My email is very simple, dana.bethancourt@houstonisd.org.
Perfect, thank you. And thank you so much for that presentation. Now, if it's okay, we'll hear from Ms. Williams about the dress code enforcement. Ms. Williams, are you there? Ms. Williams?
She's muted. Miss Williams,
Oh.
you're muted.
I'm thinking maybe she walked away. Should we go to the next speaker? and
Sure,
then come back?
Or we can, this is not a hard topic. We've all are on board with this. We greet.
Unmute it.
Is she there?
I think she's unmuted. Ms. Williams, are you there?
Well, I was gonna let Nurse Dana take it
No,
away.
no.
I did get unmuted, but I love the backup. Let's just take a moment to pause at this beautiful community that we're building. Yes, thank you guys so much for letting me know that I was muted. Nurse Dana, thanks so much for saying, actually, we're all on the same page here. I can talk about this too. Thank you. And I'm fueled because I just had the PTO lunch for dinner. So, I mean, thank you guys so much for all that you're doing. We appreciate your support on all levels. I've only received emails about the dress code that says, thank you so much. Don't tell my daughter I said it, but thank you so much. So yes, what Nurse Dana is saying, we are all on the same page here. We're not wanting to police anybody. We don't want to make this a police state. We just want to show respect for the facility and the community that we're building here, and do that by doing 3 simple things: just showing less skin, whether it's arms, chest, bellies, showing less skin. Let's see, what was the other one? No pajamas. You're here to work, you're here to learn. It's time, you feel good, you learn good, you focus good, you make great grades. So we want you guys to, those are the 2 main things: no pajamas and less skin showing, and then also proper shoe wear. That's really what we're going to be focusing on. We have a lot of steps in Carnegie. We don't want anybody to fall down the stairs. And you can do that when someone steps on your flip-flop. So we're not trying to do anything crazy here. We love the individual culture that we have. We want to keep it collaborative and just keep the creativity going. So many people's styles are through their dress, and we love it. We support it. And we just want to show we just want to keep everybody on the same page. We all are on the same page. It's time for the kids to get on the same page too. So we really appreciate your support. And if there's any questions about the dress code, I'd love to answer them. And thanks, Nurse Dana, also. And Nurse Dana, do you have anything to say since I cut you off?
No, not really. The main thing is the procedure that we're working on right now is they come in, we identify an issue, and we ask them to call their parents. If they don't have clothes, then they come into the clinic. If the parents are unable to come, they come to my clinic and they wear whatever's in my bin, which is not great, but that is kind of the thing. So yeah, just know that's kind of the procedure. So they may get it tardy. That's unfortunate because they have to be, they have to change.
Thank
Are there any
you.
questions from anyone else?
Not a question, but when this was brought to my attention, it was very interesting when I mentioned it to employees. They confirmed that we could do better, and I really do want to credit Nurse Dana and Miss Williams for always having a positive spin on things and wanting to work with the students. And this is just something that admin and faculty and staff just kind of, we weren't enforcing it, but it's something that, again, we want to enlighten our students. Of course, we have a very strong college and career culture, And we want that to be evident in the attire as well.
Thank you, Principal Moss, and thank you, Ms. Williams and Nurse Dana. That is good work that you're doing in this department. So I think,
Before we move on,
please go ahead.
I just wanted to say thank you so much also for your donations. Today someone came in and was so excited. We have all nicely lined up all of the food that we're gonna give for our Thanksgiving baskets. We had one of our regulars come in and was like, I was so busy during lunch, do you have a snack? And I have these chips, nobody likes baked chips, and I have some, and she's ate through all the chips. So I was like, well, come into the room because you're gonna get a basket anyway. And her face lit up and was like, what is this? And I was like, okay, we ended up getting saltine crackers, okay, but those crackers were so exciting for her. And you don't think that you're making a difference. You don't think that the crackers or the can of beans make a difference, and I see that it does. And I just want to say thank you. There's so much you guys don't get to see. I get to see the best in everyone, and I just wanted to say thank you for everything. That's it.
Thank you, Ms. Williams, for all the amazing work that you're doing, honestly, in many different departments. All right, we will move on now to our final, sorry. Hello? Was that Ms. Colston? Our final
No,
speaker
but
for
I'm
the-
here. I'm here. I'm ready.
Hi. Hi. Ms. Colston will be speaking on financial literacy for teens, and I have uploaded your presentation, so I'll just go through it.
Oh, fabulous. Thank you so much. Thank you for just your time this evening, and I am so excited to be here. I've loved all of the Carnegie students that I've been fortunate to meet. And I've just had really wonderful interactions with those of you on the call that I've met too. So thank you for your time, but I know that evenings are precious. So let me go ahead and get right to it. So if you want to go ahead and move us to the next slide. Some background about me. My name is Kate, and I grew up in the Houston area, and I love this community. And I currently oversee a program that focuses on leadership and empowerment for high school girls here in Houston and in 2 other cities across the US. And one of the things that we talk about with our students is financial literacy. So we bring in a few experts, including a lifelong investor, a banker, and even somebody who worked at the Federal Reserve for many years. And we spend an entire day having meaningful and really open and very honest conversations about money with teenage girls. So I wanted to share a little bit of the insight that we've seen just from these discussions over the past 12 years, and I myself over the past 7. And I want to note here too that while our sample size is teenage girls, I think this information is really relevant to teenage boys as well. This is really a good introductory way to introduce the concept of money management. We found that this is great for us, and so we just wanted to share this information with you all tonight. So on the next slide, if you're comfortable, this is a practice we do with our students too. We have everybody close their eyes and take a big, deep breath in and think about your very first memory of money. Who's with you? Are you in control of the money, or does somebody else have it? Are you at home? Are you in public? And when you think about this, what kind of feelings are you having as a child? What kind of emotions are provoked? So as an example, my first memory of money, I was really frustrated because I had discovered the tooth fairy, and this was a pretty steady stream of income for me. I decided to go ahead and start yanking out all my other teeth, and my parents are sitting me down and telling me that this is not a sustainable way for me to make money, and that made no sense to me because my teeth kept coming back. But I just remember this feeling of really intense frustration. Like, what do you mean you've cut me off already? And so just out of curiosity, maybe if you're comfortable putting in the chat, if you also had a frustrating or maybe negative in another way first experience with money, send me a word negative. And if you had a really positive first experience too, I'm also curious, maybe send the word positive. Maybe you got birthday money, or you got to buy some candy, or you found some cash on the ground and you got to keep it. Just very curious about the audience. And again, only if you're comfortable. Yes, celebration money, so fun. Oh, yes. Oh, that prevention from parents, the struggle. Birthday gift, I love it. Okay. Oh, allowance. Oh, that's impressive. Working for the money already. So I do want to move on, but thank you so much for sharing these. The point of this exercise is just to recognize, and if you want to move to the next slide, we all have really strong emotional associations with money, and it starts very young, and it's just a human inclination that we have. Money can evoke a lot of emotional responses in us. Our emotions can directly influence how we manage our money. And so when we introduce the concept, we like to pivot emotional management and money management skills really at two equal components that come towards financial independence. And for the purpose of today, when I talk about emotional management, I want to focus on a healthy self-esteem, because we talk about where that regulation comes from. And so we'll get into what a healthy self-esteem looks like. If you want to move to the next slide. So here's the deal, right? Money's fun. It's awesome. Feels great. Again, evoking that really positive experience. Maybe we get to go to the movies or go to a concert and buy new video games. And I don't know, I'm not a big meat eater, but I put a steak on here because it feels fancy and expensive. And on the next slide, we see this other side of money, right? Sometimes it doesn't feel so great when you're out of lack. It really can put you down in the dumps. Can you be at peace driving around a 12-year-old car, or maybe furnishing your home with things that you found by the dumpster behind your house, which, by the way, was my college apartment. Not the best. Yes, ticket on the car, been there. And so this relationship that we have with money, right? It feels awesome. And it can also feel really terrible. And where self-esteem comes in is being at peace with your means on both ends of the spectrum, not letting it influence how you handle and view yourself. So on our next slide, when we define a healthy self-esteem, we really emphasize that this can help you make smarter long-term and short-term spending decisions. So it's really crucial. And what we look at is having a really strong sense of self, right? Do I like myself if I don't have my fancy perfume, if I maybe a little musty one day? Or really, can I say no when I don't need something and feel confident in that decision? Can I feel at peace making this call to myself and then presenting it to other people? We also talk about a sense of belonging. And, you know, this feeling of, do my friends still like me if maybe I can't afford or don't want to pay to go on this trip? Do I have to spend money to go out with my friends and to be accepted? Or do I have enough people in my life that really love me exactly as I am? And then the last thing that we talk about is this belief that you can and will recover if needed. If something goes wrong, am I going to be able to make it through that? Can I handle it? Am I okay right now? And these are all things that come with the journey of growing your financial independence. You know, sometimes you're in college and you're broke and you are sitting on your dumpster furniture, and then your dog eats something that they shouldn't, and you have a $2,000 vet bill. There's two ways this can go, right? Either I'm going to struggle a little bit and then I'm going to be okay, or, oh my God, the world is ending. And both of those can really alter your reality in that moment. And so all of these components to this healthy self-esteem can contribute to making clear-minded and level-headed decisions. If we want to go ahead and move to the next slide. So I stole this model totally from one of our usual presenters. There's a very smart man who comes to talk to our students every year who is adamantly anti-PowerPoint. So you'll have to bear with my hand-drawn graphic here. Yes, pun intended. So really, he always uses his whole hand for an hour. But he talks about how the key to life and really knowing what you want is modeled here. And we start with personal freedom, building up that self-esteem and that confidence and really believing in who you are and what you're doing. Personal freedom is always the prelude to financial freedom here. And then with financial freedom comes doing what you love, where you love, and with people you love, or in whatever order is important to you. But really what's to note here is that it all draws back to this personal freedom, really developing this self-esteem and intuition strong enough to survive all these voices we hear all the time telling us who we should be and what we should want and exactly how much it costs. And really driving home this point that money comes and goes, but our relationship with ourselves will be here our entire lives. So it's worth that attention and that investment first. So on the next slide, laying out all this information, what are teenagers asking for? When we present this, there's really three things that are actionable items that can be really good for starting to have these initial, like, hey, you're going to be on your own student conversations. And so one of the things that they talk about is explicitly drawing that connection between financial literacy and their own personal confidence. And we find that teenagers sometimes don't make that association automatically, especially in our really powerful social world of influencer marketing that's 24/7 messaging. And it can be really helpful to draw explicit attention here and really calling out when people are selling an identity and an idea alongside a product. So buying this protein powder can make you so buff, and look at that, you got a date and you're super happy with your life. We see this all the time in pharmaceutical commercials too, right? Not necessarily targeted towards teenagers, but this idea of like, take a pill and you can frolic through life forever. And maybe it's worth having that conversation like, hey, do you think you can frolic without having to spend any money? And so really driving that point home. They're also looking for opportunities to self-manage. Outside of high school, we would call that responsibility, but nobody really wants to ask for more of that. So our fun term here is empowerment over finances. If they find that they really want the opportunity to make money and then reap the benefits of saving it. And so one of the things that we encourage is having an intentional goal setting and conversation, maybe with yourself and maybe pulling in other people. Oh my gosh, frolicking, it should be free these days, but you know, who knows how things will go in the next couple of years. Anyways, giving them the opportunity to go on this journey from maybe saying, I want to save $500 over the summer. And 250 of it will go towards savings, and the other half will go towards my trip to a field day with my choir group. Letting them experience this journey of deciding to make money and choosing to spend it and maybe making a mistake and then recovering from that and taking this non-linear path. We find that this is really exciting for them, even though many may not say that word. And we also have students tell us like, well, I don't think I can take this on. This is a lot. I already have so much with school. And I would always say it's worth having that conversation. Well, we believe you can handle this. We believe that you can do this. And I think that you should believe in yourself that way too. Starting small and giving them that free rein. And then another thing that we find is confidence building language. And what I mean by this is really any mistake, most mistakes that people make, probably someone else has made before and been okay. Obviously can't cover all bases here, but they love to hear the real deal. And our experts who come in who have had amazing careers in finance have actually made really horrible mistakes that they talk about honestly, like accidentally buying a car because they didn't read all the paperwork. or choosing not to buy renter's insurance and then experiencing a house fire and to this day needing a co-signer. And so when they hear that, you know, someone else not only recovered, but actually had a pretty awesome life afterwards and can show up in a really cute blazer, two things happen. They tend to want to avoid making the same mistake. They say, "Ooh, I don't want to go through that. I'm not going to do that." And B, believe that they'll be all right too. That, oh, they hit a really low point and they turned out okay. And they more easily adopt this attitude of like, oh, I can make it through whatever. And so on that note, I want to leave us with, on the next slide, this concept of preservation of self. It's what prevents us from making bad decisions and can motivate us to recover when we do make those bad decisions. So it's worth knowing exactly what you're preserving. That taking good care of yourself and investing in yourself can really help develop a strong financial intuition. So that is everything that I have today. On the next slide, I will say that this is one of many things that we talk about with our students. We spend entire days on assertiveness for young women, global citizenship, conflict resolution, media literacy, self-defense. And I would love to see more Carnegie students there in the future. We've had some really amazing standout alumni from Carnegie in the past. So if you're interested in enrolling your daughters, please feel free to contact me with questions at any time. This QR code will lead you to an interest form, and I will personally email you when applications open as a reminder to say, hey, we have this opportunity for high school girls. We have ample scholarships available if needed, and our applications open January 1st. So that is everything that I have. I'm happy to take questions if we have time, but I know that it's late and everybody needs to work tomorrow too. So please let me know if I can provide anything further.
Thank you so much, Kate. This was fantastic. I do see we just have like a minute left. If anyone has questions, please post them in chat and Kate can respond. But in the meantime, I do want to go back. I think there were a couple of other questions that folks had put in that I do want to bring up. And if some of our faculty is here and can help us to answer these, I'll kind of pivot towards that. But Kate, I do want to say thank you so much for coming. This is a really great program. I know a couple of parents that have sent their girls to this and really come back glowing. So I encourage anyone that's on here that does have young women that might want to do something fun in the summer and hasn't decided yet. Definitely think of this as an option. I have 2 boys, so I'm actually really bummed you don't have this for young men. But thank you for coming on today.
Of course. I think we'll get there soon. I believe it. We hear that all the time and we would love to provide that. So it's definitely included in our long-term goals. And thank you all so much again. I'm so grateful for your time and your attention this evening. I think I'm gonna go ahead and hop off just so that you guys can go ahead and get to your evening. But thank you, and please reach out to me anytime. Please fill out the form on the QR code, and I will send a message tonight. Thank you. Thank you all
Thanks,
so much.
Kate.
Have
Good
a
to
good
see
night.
you. Bye.
Bye. Take care.
So I want to go backwards. We'll keep the slide up. Yasi, if that's okay. So I know there were a couple of people interested. If you want to go ahead and click the QR code while I'm talking. But I do want to address, there was one question fairly earlier in the evening, and someone asked that there were a couple of dances that were canceled with short notice, and if they were going to be rescheduled. So I wanted to say something really quickly about this. There are so many events that are scheduled in the school. Not all of them are PTO events. Some of them are scheduled by the students. And within the student body, there are also multiple different clubs that might be scheduling this, or grades. So the seniors might be scheduling a dance, or the juniors might be scheduling something. So the cancellations that happened earlier this year, they were specifically student-led events. And as disappointing as it is, I do want to say that this does sometimes happen. Students get busy, they have exams coming up. I know the senior dance specifically was canceled because I believe they didn't have enough interest by the time they had to kind of put down some money, and then they also were struggling with kind of getting to their I think application deadlines and such. So there were multiple different things that contributed to them canceling that event. But that's typically what happens. We as the PTO do offer help to the students, but as parents, we all know that students might not always take us up on that. And sometimes they just want the money that we are able to offer them, or they just want the volunteers that we are able to offer them, but they might not want additional stuff. So if there's cancellations, we do try and put out the notice as quickly as we can. And this year in particular, I know the VP of Special Events didn't get a chance to speak, but we do have 2 more student events planned, so we can get the student community together and have them do something fun outside of the school environment. So that's what I wanted to say on that. And then I also I saw there was a message that ticket sales were low for a couple of the events, and possibly that was part of the cancellation. So I do want to say, if you see something and you know that you or your child would be interested in participating, please go ahead and jump on it. And it's usually not a whole lot of money, so I would say go ahead and put down you know, your interest. That way people know that you're interested in coming, or your child is interested in coming, and they can get a sense of how many people to plan for. It's really hard. We're not all professional planners, and it's really hard to gauge interest if people haven't kind of already logged on and put their name in the form. So I'm trying to see if there's anything else.
Gary, Ms. Williams has a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Ms. Williams.
Okay, I'm not used to doing this on my phone, and so I can never find the mute button. I have to like swipe and then. So thank you so much for your patience, and thank you so much. Yes, I just kind of wanted to piggyback on what you were saying about the dances. So you're right. Sometimes students don't know how to ask for help, and I think they really have a good idea. They have great ideas, and they're not the best at executing. And so now I think we understand this I think the students now understand this about themselves and are a little, I think they might be ready to listen now. Sometimes you have to learn this way. Sometimes you have to learn hard, and it's not fun. But I did see the comment about, hey, can the parents know about it? And I think that is a great ask, and I will happily overshare with you guys anytime. And so moving forward, anytime there's a cancellation, I will definitely make sure that the parents know. So thank you for asking. That's all.
Okay, with that, Yasi, I think that's all we had. Back to you.
Yep, I think that's it. And if it's okay with everybody, if anybody else has any questions, everyone's available by email. So please feel free to reach out. And I think we can call it end of meeting if okay with everybody.
8:35, motion to end the meeting.
I second that.
Yep.
I think we're good to go.
Good.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.
Thank you, everybody.
Good night.
Good
Yeah.
night.
Good
Good
night.
night.